Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Redlands. My name is Joe. I will be leading you on this guided meditation. So let me invite you to just close your eyes and take a nice deep inhalation through the nose. Just feel those lungs expand as you breathe in deep. And release through the mouth. And a nice long exhalation. And let's repeat this process a few times. Just feel the rise and fall. Feel your stomach expand, distend with every inhalation through the nose. And feel it release with every exhalation, like a deflating balloon. As we release all that tension, any pent-up stress or anxiety, just let it melt away. Let your breathing be natural, unforced. Just keep your attention focused on it. But let it flow with ease and grace, naturally. As we feel all the tension melt away from our shoulders, our neck, and down throughout our body. You'll start to experience a slow, rhythmic pattern of breathing. Let it slow and move at its own pace, unforced. Just let it flow natural. As every inhalation and every exhalation grows deeper as we go deeper and center in consciousness. Let us breathe. Visualize this flickering light inside you, the core, right at your core, center of your chest. There's this light flickering. It's bright. As we inhale through our nose, see that light stoke up like a fire. Fill up your whole body. See your body glow in the radiant light that is spirit. as we unify with the divine. We inhale, the Spirit stokes up inside of us. And we release it as we exhale out and around. It flows. This energy flows and moves in and around. It is omnipresent within, out, and all around. As it exists in every point in space simultaneously, the Spirit cannot be denied. As we grow closer, unifying, meshing with Spirit, divine Spirit. It is the God essence of each and every one of us. It is within. Let any distracting thoughts that may enter your mind just acknowledge it, and then return to focusing on your breathing. In through the nose and out through the mouth. Your breathing should be more slow, deeper. Your body's nice and relaxed. We see ourselves walking into this light, this bright, radiant light that's all surrounding. All absorbing. Immersed within. We walk into this light. Feel the warmth as it soaks over your body. Penetrates every pore. You see this light circulating within our blood, our body. Pervades and permeates every organ, every cell, every atom. It moves and flows and circulates within our system, within our body. Feel it energize, charge, we move more into the light, just visualize yourself absorbing, dissolving, and absorbing into it. You are now one with it, moving and flowing in this invisible energy, intelligence, goodness, love that is pure intelligence, pure spirit. We all move and flow within the body of spirit, within the body of God. Just go with the flow. Absorbed in the light. You are the light. Moving, flowing, within the body of spirit. All is calm. All is good. This peace, this love, this calm that we see, we feel, we experience as we float and move through the body of God, through the body of divine essence and spirit. Now see yourself moving through the cosmos as spirit, existing everywhere. Be still in the silence of this vast, expansive universe. There is an order. We are part of this order, and we move and flow and exist in it and through it. You see yourself floating, flowing. See the galaxies, the stars, the exoplanets. Knowing that we are all part and one with this infinite universe. All connected to Spirit and God. Now we move back. See the earth. Move back into the stratosphere. Move through the earth's atmosphere. Back to this sacred place. This sanctuary. You're whole, perfect, and complete. Let me invite you, when you're ready, to open your eyes. You want to wiggle your toes, fingers, as we open our eyes. And this concludes our meditation. Thank you.
Thank you, Joe. Got this beautiful winter morning. And I'd like to thank you all for being here, bringing that beauty with you from the outside to the inside. To thank everybody who's with us online on YouTube and Facebook Live. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. I'm in the right place at the right time, just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. Is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. And so is yours. I'd like to invite you all to maybe get up and greet your neighbor whatever way you're comfortable with. If you're not comfortable with a handshake or a hug, then maybe just cross your arms in front of your chest, give a bow, but greet your neighbor. If you're online, you can put something in the chat about how how this day is for you, what your expectations are. Oh, my soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. Getting a message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. So's yours.
Thank you, and good morning, everyone. Welcome. Hi, good morning.
Morning.
Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living here in Redlands, California. My name is Holly, prior member of the board. Our center and spiritual home is an open and inclusive community honoring all people from every background, all races, sexual orientations, gender expressions, and spiritual paths. No matter who you are or where you are on your journey of faith, you are always welcome here. Our purpose is to awaken humanity to its spiritual magnificence, and our vision is a world that works for everyone. If you are here with us for the first time, please raise your hand and let us wave and greet you properly.
Yay.
We all know each other. Okay. A gentle reminder to silence your cell phones and place them safely away so you may participate more fully. We are so happy to have you here with us for our service today, and we are so grateful for your presence. And now, our centering music, the song In the Silence, performed by our wonderful Al Yankee.
So along with silencing your cell phones, sometimes it helps to silence that inner voice, that chattering, sometimes called the monkey mind. I know mine is a monkey mind sometimes. Can't get the dang thing to shut up. But when you can, you find that in the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. I awake to these precious moments when I hear what could never be said, and right here in that holy silence I find peace, I find myself. In the silence there is peace. In the silence there is unspoken joy. In the silence there's release from a world filled with chaos and noise. I awake to these precious moments when I hear what could never be said, and right here in this holy silence I find peace, I find joy, I find love, I find myself.
Thank you, Al. That's always so lovely. Let me invite you to be still with me for a moment for an opening prayer. Recognizing that God is all there is, this power, this presence, creator of all things, that pervades all space, permeates all substance, that is the creator of you, the creator of me, the creator of everything. I speak this word in oneness with Spirit, knowing it is truth which cannot be denied. I know right here, right now, in this sanctuary, we come together in love, in community, knowing that there is no power but the power of God, the power of love that unifies us, that binds us, coalesces us. I'm so grateful for Al, for his music that prepares us for the message that's going to be delivered here today by Sonja Prince. I'm grateful to our board of directors, Brother Mark, Ed, David over there in our mission control, manning our spaceship as we soar into the heavens. And I'm grateful to all those here in the sanctuary joining us today and all those viewing remotely. How grateful I am, how grateful for these blessings, for this center, for this healing energy that abounds, this restorative power of love, harmony. And I just release this knowing grateful for the truth that sets us free. And if you all agree, if you ever feel the vibe, I ask you to join me in releasing this into the law of life, that God essence that is within each and every one of us. And I say,
So it is.
and so it is. Put my new eyes on, my second eyes. We have a reading here today. I'm going to take a shot at pronouncing his name. His name is John Rodell. I believe that's how you phonetically say it. My brain and heart divorced a decade ago over who was to blame about how big of a mess I have become eventually. They couldn't be in the same room with each other. Now my head and heart share custody of me. I stay with my brain during the week, and my heart gets me on weekends. They never speak to one another. Instead, they give me the same note to pass to each other every week. And their notes, they send to one another always. They all say the same thing. This is all your fault. On Sundays, my heart complains about how my head has let me down in the past. And on Wednesday, my head lists all of the times my heart has screwed things up for me. In the future, they blame each other for the state of my life. There's been a lot of yelling and crying, and so lately I've been spending a lot of time with my gut, who serves as my unofficial therapist most nights. I sneak out of the window in my rib cage and slide down my spine and collapse on my gut's plush leather chair that's always open for me. And I just sit. until the sun comes up last evening. My gut asked me if I was having a hard time being caught between my heart and my head. I nodded. I said I didn't know if I can live with either of them anymore. Quote, my heart is always sad about something that happened yesterday, while my head is always worried about something that may happen tomorrow. I lamented. My gut squeezed my hand. I just can't live with my mistakes of the past or my anxiety about the future. I sighed. My gut smiled and said, in that case, you should go stay with your lungs for a while. I was confused. The look on my face gave it away. If you are exhausted about your heart's obsession with the fixed past and your mind's focus on the uncertain future, your lungs are the perfect place for you. There is no yesterday in your lungs. There is no tomorrow there either. There is only now. There is only inhale. There is only exhale. There is only this moment. There is only breath. And you can rest while your heart and head work their relationship out. This morning, while my brain was busy reading tea leaves, and while my heart was staring at old photographs, I packed a little bag and walked to the door of my lungs. Before I can even knock, she opened the door with a smile, and as a gust of air embraced me, she said, "What took you so long?" Thank you.
That's good stuff. Okay.
Here's a little-known Black history science of mind fact. Pearl C. Wood was born in a small Arkansas town in 1892. A teacher, she became a seeker of spiritual truth. She relocated to Kansas City, where she became active in church and civic work. In 1930, she went to California. There she visited various churches but could not find the spiritual uplift she desired until one day, a voice inside her said, "The thing you're looking for is within you." She returned to Kansas City and became an ordained minister in the Metropolitan Spiritual Church of Christ. A short time later, she permanently moved to LA and founded Triangular Church of Truth in her living room in 1932. She became affectionately known as Mother Wood. The church grew, and 24 years later, in 1956, she affiliated with Religious Science. Ernest Holmes loved Mother Wood's ministry, and at one event stunned the crowd announcing, "If she's your mother, then I'm your father." When Mother Wood retired in 1972, her son-in-law, Dr. Philip Pitts, became senior minister at Triangular Center for Spiritual Living. And when he retired, her grandson, Reverend Greg Pitts, stepped into leadership. Mother, son-in-law, and grandson, 3 generations of strong spiritual leadership. Dr. Pearl C. Wood, a Black evolutionary in science of mind.
Now, we've had so many wonderful Black ministers in science of mind, religious science, and I've been privileged to serve with many of them. Some have become very close personal friends, just wonderful people. There's one power invisible, yet you speak of it, you see it everywhere and every day. There's one power indescribable, yet you talk of it with every word you say. It seems mysterious until you know the truth. It's as simple as the love inside of you. You can call it God, or Spirit, or Jesus, or Lord. Call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings, or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's just one power, don't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. We speak so many languages. We're different clothing, we're different colors, have different names. But difference only dangerous if we forget that in our hearts we're all the same. We remember when we close our eyes and see that those distances, they aren't reality. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Baha'u'llah, angel's wings, or heaven door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, or it's your sign. It's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth, or Father Time. But whatever name you give it, it's one power, don't you see? Whatever name you call it, it's the very air we breathe. It's the power of the love in you and me. It's the moment of creation. It's an everlasting peace. It's the freedom of forgiveness, the sweetness of release. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunshine on your face, the birthright of all nations, the boundlessness of space. It's the beauty of a baby, the serenity of sleep. It's the anger you abandon for that love that's most deep. It's the power of the love that lies forever in you and me. It's the power of the love in you and me.
Thank you. That was just beautiful. One power. One power. So good morning.
Good morning.
How's everybody today?
Good.
So what do you think so far? How do you like the service so far? It's been beautiful, the reading, everything has been so great. What about you? What do you think? What do you think online? On Facebook and on all thumbs up? All right. Well, let's just get started. So I have a story for you. Story of two wolves. So one morning, a Cherokee man was talking to his grandson, and he was talking to his grandson about the battle that happens inside of people. So he said, My son, the battle is between two wolves inside of all of us. So one is evil. It is anger, envy, jealousy, sadness, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, superiority, and ego. And he said the other wolf is good. And it is joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, goodness, benevolence. It is empathy. It is generosity. It is trust. It is truth. It is compassion. And it is faith. So the grandson pondered it for a minute. And then he asked his grandfather. He said, "Grandfather, which wolf wins?" So his grandfather replied, "The one that wins is the one that you feed." The one that you feed. So you're either feeding the good wolf, that is all those wonderful things, love, joy, or the evil one, that's anger, resentment. So which one? The one that wins is the one that we feed. So as you know, this month we've been talking about the inner life. So the wolf story is about the inner life and what we have going on inside of us. So we talked about, the first week we talked about pause and find the cause. It's all this inner work that we're being called to do. The second week we talked about, can I see God in me? Where I had the baggage and then we looked in the mirror to see God staring back at us as our own expression. And then last week, Brother Mark talked about forgiveness. He said this is a big topic. Can't do it in 5 minutes. But he invited you to come online, spend some time with him, and he can unpack it further. And this week, we're talking about the ultimate fear buster. The ultimate fear buster. So what I'd like to do in this talk today, I'd like to change the two wolves from evil to good to love and fear. The two wolves that are happening inside of us, love and fear. Which one are we going to feed? We know that love is divine. It is the activity of God. And we know that fear, on the other hand, is a tool of our ego. You know, our ego where we edge God out. So that's founded in the belief of separation from God and separate from each other. So what is fear? Fear is an emotion that we experience in our mind, and also it triggers effects in our body. We know that fear is the opposite of love, and yet the two are identical in the sense of the energy that it provides, and it's the energy of our thoughts. So we can either have loving thoughts or fearful thoughts. You with me so far?
Yeah.
Okay. So we know that the universe, which is the energy of thought, we know that. We know that the ultimate energy is the energy of God, that is the energy of love. And so we understand that fear is a mental attitude, and that most fear can be summarized by a few things. And I talked about that on the video leading up to the talk. And those are those false beliefs like, nobody wants me, or I'm not needed, or I'm not loved, even I'm not worth anything, or I'm just not enough. So these false beliefs can cause fear and the effects on us in our body, in our mental area. So Fear arises from these thoughts and the thoughts of duality, that there are two powers, and that one power of evil is trying to separate us from God. But what do we know about that? That there is, he just sang it, one power, right? One power. And that's the power of love. God is love. So thank you. Beautiful song, just perfect for this talk. So now, when we find ourselves in fear, we miss the opportunity to be in a good relationship with ourselves and a good relationship with others. So this is what happens. We can get into victim consciousness. You know, that first kingdom consciousness that says that everything is happening to me. Why me? So if everything is happening to you, what kind of relationship is that? You can't have a relationship with yourself, or you can't have a relationship with others if everything is happening to you and you fall into victim consciousness and everything is someone else's fault. And we forget that who's in charge here? Who is in charge of you? You are. Ed raised his hand. He said he's in charge of himself. Right. So we're in charge. So we have to remember that. We are in charge. And then the other thing that we have to know about this thing called fear is that it creates things in our mind, and it also shows up in our body. So we have to watch that. We have to make sure that we're focusing on that other wolf. And that other wolf is love. Because we don't want our blood pressure to go up. We don't want our heart rate to, you know, like if you've ever been afraid, you know what happens. Blood pressure just spiked. I know I could feel it. I could feel it going, It's like the temperature was rising. I don't know about you, but I don't want to be there. I can feel my blood pressure rising. Not a good place to be. So I want to come back to that spiritual life. So Ernest Holmes says that the antithesis of fear is the antithesis of faith. It is the negation of trust. Like faith, fear can be conscious or unconscious. And if it is to be eliminated, it must be eliminated from both consciousness, the conscious mind, and the subjective mind. So, you know, this fear, you might have fear in your life, everyday life. I have a fear when it comes to my granddaughter. She's my second granddaughter, but this little one is just, she knows herself. She was 6 months old, scooting off. She'd look on at the side of the bed and just kind of gauge it, and then she'd scoot off the bed, and then she's everywhere. She's everywhere. That scared me to death. And then there's stairs in the house. She would get to the stairs, gauge the stairs. I tried to teach her. I taught my daughter how to take the stairs when she was young by turning backwards and just sliding down. Scoot, 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 scoot. This one, no. She's going to do it her way. She's going to sit on each step and bump, bump, bump. I don't know what to do with this girl. And then we take her to the pool, and she's like Mark Spitz. You know, I mean, like, who is this little girl? She had no fear of water. She has no fear of the stairs. You show her how to do okay, so I'm going to take the top off for you. The next time I give her this, I said, let me help you, she says. Until she gets it. She knows herself. She's in touch with that inner presence. That is so beautiful to me. But I had to let go and let God, knowing that she was safe and protected and that she knew herself and she never has fallen. She's just this little amazing little thing. So the other wolf is love. So love is the nature of the universe. Love has no opposites. Its essence is neutrality, impartiality, and its essential characteristics is that it does not generate resistance of anything or to anything. So love is universal and the only energy in which God exists. It is to know that wherever you are and whatever is going on, God is in the midst of it. God is there. So in this truth, fear vanishes just as darkness vanishes when you flip on the light. So there's a Chinese proverb that says, it is better to light a candle than to curse the darkness. And then I have a few quotes about light. And then St. Francis of Assisi says, all the darkness in the world cannot extinguish the light of a single candle. And then for Martin Luther King, he says, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. So this is the light of God and the light of love. You cannot extinguish it, no matter how much you try. People may try, and I'm not saying that you won't be challenged in your life and that people may test you, cut you off on the freeway, do all kinds of other things to you, give you the 5-finger salute or the 1-finger salute, whatever you call that thing. They might do that to you, but guess what? They cannot distinguish your light. I was listening to, sometimes I go on Facebook and they have these little clips, and I was listening to this thing and they kept saying, are you mad? Are you mad? Well, I'm happy. Well, I'm happy. That's that light. That's that joy. That's that peace that you don't let anybody disturb it because you know the truth of who you are. You know that God essence that lives, moves, and has its being in and through you. So you don't let outside influences or that monkey mind, I heard that today, get you all tripped up because you know the truth of who you are. So, to love but the other thing that you can do in order to negate all of this is you can love the fear. So what I mean by that is give yourself an opportunity to go into the fear and ask some questions. Yeah. Ask some questions. So to love the fear, we must call the presence and the power of God into our lives and into that particular situation, allowing this presence to dispel the fear. And the moment that we realize that we're in the midst of fear, we must not struggle and get away from it. We must relax and then declare the truth. Remember that it is the truth that will set you free. The truth will set you free. The truth will set you free. That truth is the truth of your being. So let us evoke the truth by saying, wherever I am, there is God. Let's say that again. That felt really good. Wherever I am, there is God. So let's go on. So we turn fear into an opportunity to give birth to something new. Because knowing that wherever you are, God is. So I had the opportunity to do that for myself. Turn this fear into an opportunity, give birth to something new back in 2020. Yes, back in 2020. So I came home and I was in fear on what do I do next in my career? What do I do next in my career? So I had to just kind of go deep and say, okay, God, what's next? What are we doing here? I can laugh at it now. Because losing or being released, let's just say I released that job. It gave me an opportunity to take in a deep breath, pause, and find the cause. It gave me an opportunity to just contemplate, go into that place, do my spiritual practice, focus in on my school, know the truth of my being, and now what I'm doing is I'm speaking here. I'm speaking right here. So being released from that job gave me the opportunity to dive into my ministry, because I said to myself, what I do next has to come from my heart. What I do next has to come from love. What I do next has to not only feed my soul, my spirit, but feed the world. Starting with myself, my family, my community, my state. Feed the world. What I do next is anchored in love. So turning back to that story of the two wolves, which one is a question for you? Which one are you feeding now? Are you living in fear, doubt, judgment? Which one do you want to do next or now? Which one do you want to step into right now? Love. You want to step into love. So what I'm going to do right now is I have some things that's going to be handed out. And we're going to do a little exercise. And this exercise, we're not going to do it in its entirety, but we're going to just go into it, and I'm going to show you a little technique. Because what do we do in Centers for Spiritual Living? We give you practical tools for your life. Practical tools for your life. Let's see where I put it. All right. So this practical tool is called Fear to Faith. So, there's a large part of this at the top, but I don't want you to focus on that. I'll let you know what to focus on. So if you can find number 5, it's over here in the corner. And it says the word of error. And then number 6 says the word of resistance. But what we want to focus on first is the top. So what I invite you to do is think of something in your life that that you're in fear of and you want to change. Think of something in your life that you want change in. So just think about it. You don't have to dive deep. It's not a meditation. Just think of something that you'd like to change. Now, think of what you'd like to see happen instead of what's happening now. So maybe someone else is looking for employment. So maybe what you want to do is imagine what you want in employment, all those elements of it. So when you have it, we can move on. So on this diagram, we see that the error word is maybe I'm in fear. Number 5 says lack, debt, conflict, limitations, rejection, death, chaos, judgment, dependency, duality, and disease, poverty. And then over on the other side it says the word of resistance is control, anger, attachment, confusion, depression. And so what we do is we come down to the bottom. And so the exercise is we do a releasing prayer for whatever that is. So on the bottom, if you have a pen, it says, I release my belief in, you put that word there. So I release my belief in lack. I'm just using that as a term. I release my belief in lack and limitation. The next one, I release my need to fear. You with me so far? And then the third one is, I am grateful God is the source of my supply, but just put the word source. I am. So, I release my belief in whatever that is. I release my need to, and I am grateful God is the substance source, prosperity, abundance that I am. So that is something that you can do. And if you like, there's a whole workshop on fear to faith that we can actually do. But that's just a little taste of something practical, a practical thing that you can do to move yourself out of fear, out of lack, out of limitation, whatever that is. So you call in the God quality, and that is what you are. Okay, so some other things that you can do on the short term. You can observe the objection of your fear. You can examine it. Pay attention to the mental atmosphere that it's creating. You can talk to that fear. Just like you're talking to a person, I don't have time for you today. I got this, and this to do. I know that God is the source of my supply. I know God is the source of my relationship, or God is in the midst of whatever this trouble is, or this fear is. Just talk to it. And I won't allow you to upset me today, or get into my way today, or whatever that is. There's a song, Hello. You can say, hello, darkness, my old friend. Just get rid of that stuff and know the truth of you. And it's not like, I'm not making light of the things that we fear, because I know fear is real. I'm not making light of it, but what I am saying is, know the truth of your being. Know whose and whom's that you belong to and you are. And try to move yourself out of that place of fear and into that place of love. Because there was this quote, and I don't know who said it, but it went something like this. I fear a lot of things. There's a lot of things going on in my head that may happen, but they never do. They never do. So we can go out in fear and think that this is going to happen and this is going to happen. It never does. So to wrap this up, I just want to say, just practice the fear to faith, identify the fear or the error word, and then identify the word of God. So fear comes from the false belief, and if we continue to feed it every day, we give it more power. But if we go into that other wolf, that love, and we know that love has the power to transform our fears, and we need to learn to love ourselves and be gentle with ourselves, take care of ourselves, and just praise ourselves. And it's okay to do that. You know, maybe somebody was taught that was ego, and you don't praise yourself, but praise yourself because you know who's operating in and through you. It's God, it's love. So, just take a deep breath. Just take a deep breath. And I have something else that I want to do right now, if I can find it. And Al, hit it, Al. I'll find it for soon enough. Got it. You know what? I put some lyrics on your table. I'll do that. Trucking on over here. I want to hear you make some noise. I mean, there's some shakers and some rattles, and clap your hands and do some stuff like that. There's a fire burning in your heart, reaching a fever pitch that's bringing you out of dark. Finally, I can see you crystal clear. Go ahead, acknowledge and feel what you hold dear. See how spirit in every piece of you. Don't underestimate the things that you can do, 'cause there's a fire burning in your heart, reaching a fever pitch that's bringing you out of dark. The power of God's love reminds me of us. It keeps me thinking that we can have it all. The power of God's love, it keeps me breathless. I can't help feeling that we can have it all by letting go of fear. Our love's a plan of love's great plan, and we're meant to share the peace. Maybe there's a story to be told. Hurt and unforgiveness have left your heart and cold. Release that anger from the depths of your despair, and open your life up to the joy that resides there. The power of God's love reminds me of us, keeps me thinking that we can have it all. The power of God's love, it leaves me breathless. Can't help feeling that we can have it all by letting go of fear. Our lives are part of love's great plan, and we're meant to share the peace. We can have it all by letting go of fear. Our lives are part of love's great plan, and we're meant to share the peace. Trust your soul to find each open door. Count your many blessings and you find what you're looking for. Turn that sorrow into treasure gold. Release the one that hurt you, and you keep just what you sow.
You can have it all. You can have it all. It all, it all, it all. You can have it all by letting go of fear. Our lives are part of love's great plan, and we're meant to share the peace. We can have it all by letting go of fear. Our lives are part of love's great plan, and we're meant to share the peace. We are meant to share the peace. So we can have it all, letting go of fear. Our lives are part of love's great plan. Our lives are part of God's great plan. And you're meant to share peace. You are peace. You are how God gets to be expressed in this world. You are peace. And so I want to move into our affirmation stage, but I have a little a poem to read. And the poem is, I want to ask our practitioners to kind of stand and hold the consciousness. We're just holding the space for our brothers and sisters that are going through struggles in the Ukraine. So the poem is called Peace, and it's from The Voice of the Master by Eva Bell Weber, and it says, over the entire earth plane there is disturbances. It is as if an anthill has been disturbed. Men run hither and thither, seeking satisfaction, seeking release. Yet through this period of turmoil, there runs a thread of pure gold. And this thread is the truth of our being, our oneness with divinity. It says that we must seek out that golden thread, see it through all the tangled webs of human weaving. And only as we do shall peace come to abide in our hearts. And only as peace abides in our hearts and in the hearts of each of us can we cover the land. So, beloved, seek this peace. Seek to be still within. Be not disturbed at the outer picture, that your life will be encompassed by your consciousness of law and order, by love and the fulfillment of love and virtues. So be at peace, my children. You shall stand as if upon a high mountain, and the hectic rush shall not disturb you. And the peace that passes understanding shall be yours now and forevermore. And so it is. Thank you. early in the morning, late at night, comes on without warning. Hold on tight, 'cause you know you got to have it. Don't you fight, get into the habit. Feels so right. Every person needs to feel they belong. Every child needs to sing their song. Everybody needs a smiling face, an open arm and a warm embrace. And right here is the place. We can do this. Love lives here. Every time. Love lives here. Come on, everybody, now you. Love lives here. Move to the sound again. Love lives here. Smile at your neighbor. Love lives here. Spread the love around. Love lives here. It's no time to be bashful. Love lives here. Can't you see? Loving is the answer. Love's the key. Every person needs to feel they belong. Every child needs to sing their song. Everybody needs a smiling face, open arms and a warm embrace. Right here is the place. Ooh, feel the love. Can you feel the love? Like sun on your face. Open arms and a warm embrace. Right here is the place. Come on, everybody. Can't you see? Loving is the answer. Love's key. Love's key. Love's key. Love is the key. Love's the key.
Announcements for February 27th. Are you ready to help us greet people and or usher for our Sunday service? If so, please see me after service today to sign up as a volunteer. Join us from 11:30 to 12:30 today for our fourth Sunday Let's Get Acquainted circle up front in the front row. Right after we have our snack and chat. Mary Jo will facilitate. Mary Jo, will you please? Thank you. There's Mary Jo. And she's our board member too. The Wilkerson family invites you to attend the memorial service celebrating the life of our beloved Dr. Ruth Wilkerson in our sanctuary on Saturday, March 5th from 1 to 3 p.m. Dr. Ruth was our senior minister for over 24 years. Also, this Saturday, March 5th, after the memorial from 5 to 7, we will host a mantra meditation facilitated by the talented Flowing River. Join us for healing bowls and bring a pillow. We will meet in the sanctuary in community. Tell a friend and bring your guests. Love offering. Everyone is welcome. Special thanks for joining us live and in person this morning in the sanctuary. And we also appreciate all of you who have connected with us this morning via Facebook Live and YouTube. You are magnificent and you are loved. Have a wonderful week.
Okay, and the ushers are going to come forth. It's our time of giving, so I invite you to take your tithes and your gifts and your offering. And think of this spiritual home as a home you support, just like you support your home, right? Your home. If we are lucky enough and fortunate enough to have one, think of it as a cable bill or higher. And we take our tithes and our gifts and our offerings, and we bless it by saying this affirmation together. From the love of pure spirit within me, I bless this gift. I send it forth to heal and bless and prosper. It is evidence of my faith and my belief. It does great work in the world. And it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. So grateful. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. So grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, Al. And the ushers are coming back forth. And I invite us all to just outstretch our hands and do a blessing on the blessing, a blessing on the offering, knowing that, even more, see, it's on the overflow. Come on up, Patty. I love it. We're so grateful to see you here. So just pause with me for a moment and we stand out the energy, knowing that the giving continues all week long. It comes from people who press the donate now button on Facebook, Zelle, Venmo, checks. It's amazing. It takes an entire week to do our total collection, the count. So see that in the overflow. What were you saying this morning, Ed, about the overflow? You said everyone who speaks from this platform is filled, right? It's a bubbling overflow. See that in your mind's eye now, not only for yourselves individually, but for all of us collectively, and for this blessing. We know it is sufficient. We know that CSL Redlands is an idea in the mind of God, therefore is maintained, sustained, right here, right now, forevermore. Together we say. So it is. Very good. So there's I have one announcement and an affirmations from today's talk. I found them, and my sister Sonja has them here. So let's say it together. I'm going to say it first, see if you agree, and then you're going to say it with vigor. I step forward into life and let God lead me. I step forward into life and let God lead me. And the second, I give to the world my love and peace. I give to the world my love and peace for a better and brighter yet to be. That last part needs to be a little bit better and brighter. I give to the world my love and peace for a better and brighter yet to be. Yes, and so it is. And so now it's time for the closing prayer treatment. I know we went a little over time, which I think is fantastic. Do the practitioners or anybody would like to rise? That would be awesome. And here we go. So I brought the announcement I want to say first is to thank Sonja Prince. Sonja has applied for our open pulpit. And so next Sunday, I need is that good with everybody? All right. So I really want everybody to be here next Sunday. In person if possible, online for sure. There's going to be the same service that you very similar to today, but it's never the same.
Dream band.
What's that?
We'll have the dream band.
We'll have the dream band, which will be amazing. And then after service, prepare to stay. You can bring snacks. You can bring, since it's the first Sunday of a month is our potluck, so bring a main dish to share with everybody, or desserts, or both. And we're going to have a workshop after that'll be about an hour. So today, well, we have the Get Acquainted for the hour, and Mary Jo's facilitating. Next Sunday, Sonja will be doing the 1 hour workshop after service. It's part of the interview and candidating process. So your feedback is going to be critical. If it's your center, it's your feedback. So I invite you to write all your feedback and write it legibly, or you could email it where we can read it, and then please do hand that in to any board member. All right. And so now, do you want to come up? Come on up.
Well, I want to introduce,
Sure.
I want to introduce my guest.
Sure. And is this mic still on, David? Yeah. Okay, good. Come on up. Take your pulpit. You done? What? Over there?
I wanted to introduce my guest, John Overton. Stand, please, John.
Yay.
And then Reverend Linda Overton.
Hey.
She is also a religious science minister. So she's a science of mind minister and yoga teacher.
Great. All right. Stay standing. We're going to do the closing prayer. Do you want to participate, or do you want me just to do it? All right. And then, so here we are. So I'm going to invite everybody to turn within. I'm going to do a prayer, and then I also brought a poem that was written by Anne Weems. I'm hoping this is an accurate poem. It's a Byzantine Orthodox icon from 1132 who was known as Our Lady of Kiev. Maybe I'll start with that. And it's called I No Longer Pray for Peace. And before I even say that, I got to tell you, one thing that's coming up for me, man, is when I was taught from 96 to 2000, there's an idea, and let's see if the Overtons agree, what you resist persists. So you're seeing on the world stage, what you're seeing is that statement on the world stage. What you resist persists, right? And you're seeing oneness. You're going to see what the result of not considering yourself part of the one. And it's heartbreaking to see the images. It's heartbreaking to know that anybody can wake up one day and the next day, and even though war had been percolating, right, for 8 years or more, I mean, to be handed AK-47s, that's the reality, and have to Google search how to use it. And if you're 18 to 60 and male, you're not allowed to check out of your country any longer. If you didn't leave, you're there to fight. And when the president was offered a way out, said, I don't need a ride. I don't need a ride. So this poem goes like this. On the edge of war, 1 foot already in, I no longer pray for peace, I pray for miracles. I pray that stone hearts will turn to tender-heartedness, and evil intentions will turn to mercifulness. And all the soldiers already deployed will be snatched out of harm's way, and the whole world will be astounded onto its knees. I pray that all the God talk will take bones and stand up and shed its cloak of faithfulness and walk again in its powerful truth. I pray that the whole world might sit down together and share its bread and its wine. Some say there is no hope, but then I've always applauded the holy fools who never seem to give up on the scandalousness of our faith, that we are loved by God, that we can truly love one another. I no longer pray for peace, I pray for miracles. And so I invite us all to turn within to this consciousness. And if the Linda wants to come up, come on up. Come on up, you're welcome here to add a word. I want us to turn within to this place that has never been hurt, harmed, or endangered in any way, and breathe that in as a bigger, bolder, brighter space. To know the truth that we are sourced, supplied, sustained, and maintained by this power and presence of good. And while we cannot change another mind, I invite us now to lift up the entire world in this love that was so beautifully spoken about and anchored today. So that the people that are driving a tank over a car may start to reconsider and feel this energy. Why am I driving my tank over a car? Maybe they self-surrender. It's possible. In the poem, it says, I pray for miracles. That's the miracle I am praying about today. And I'm inviting each of us who might agree with that to send that idea out in mind for peace, the peace that passes human understanding. For troops to simply turn around because they know what are they really fighting for? Maybe just a little man with nuclear weapons. That's just an idea that can be overwhelmed by this love and this grace, this oneness that the world, we are seeing the world stand forth and say no. We are seeing that the truth will win with a capital T. It always does. Watch the speeches that are happening at the United Nations Security Council, and you will see in the face of lies, most of the nations stand up for truth. They cannot abstain. You cannot abstain. If you abstain now, you are on the side of the oppressor. Hear my words. If you abstain now, you are on the side of the oppressor. You cannot abstain. So I invite this miracle that is called forth, hopefully from 1132, from Our Lady of Kiev, the Byzantine Orthodox icon, Anne Weems now. And I lovingly surrender the rest of this prayer to the power that's on the stage. Linda Overton.
Oh, and so I affirm all of the words that you just said. So I affirm all of these words that you just said, and know that peace is happening right here, right now, as we speak these words. And I know that Center for Spiritual Living Ukraine and the wonderful people that we met, that John and I met at the CSL conference, are safe, and our center is safe out there. They are such wonderful people. They give so much to CSL, and I'm just knowing that they are safe. And I am just so grateful to have the opportunity to pray here and to be at this center, this loving, beautiful spiritual center. And I pass this prayer on to Sonja.
And how wonderful it is to just echo the words that have been spoken thus far. And as we lift our hands and lift our hearts up, we send these miracle working power over to the Ukraine. Yes. And I had the privilege of paneling the Ukraine practitioners. And so I joined with them this morning. Yes. I joined with them and all the people here and all the people there that stand up for peace, that stand up for love, that stand up for joy. And everything that Mark said, let the tanks be turned around. Yes. Let the hearts be opened wide. We're all part of this beautiful human family. Let us love one another. And Al sang the song, there's one power. And when we forget that we're all the same, that's wrong thinking. So I surrender into love this morning, into peace this morning, into joy, and I send it forth to be transmuted all over the world, and especially for our brothers and sisters in Ukraine. Yes. And I let go ever so gratefully, ever so thankfully. And I let God. And I invite you to affirm it with me by saying, and so it is. So it is.
Amen. 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 Sing it with me. Amen. 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 This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine.
Stay up here. You can rise for the closing song. Send the light all the way.
I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All out in the streets, all out in the streets, I'm gonna let it shine. All out in the streets, I'm gonna let it shine. All out in the streets, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
We open the doors of the church.
Shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Send this energy out.
Shine, let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
Woo. Ah. Hallelujah.
There you go.